Didn't work.
That was
Okay. You're good. We're good? Okay. Okay, welcome to the McHenry County Zoning Board of Appeals. I'll call the meeting to order. This hearing today is the petition for application number Z26-0027 with a bunch of PIN numbers, PIN number 11-23-400-008, which is lot 5, PIN number 11-23-400-007, which are lots 6 and 7, and also PIN number 11-23-400-006, which is lot 8. And the request is for lots 5 and 8. Reclassification from the B1 Neighborhood Business District to the I2 Heavy Industrial District with 2 requested variations. First, to reduce the minimum lot area requirement from 1 acre to 538,000 acres on lot 5 and 5,400 acres on lot 8. And 2, to reduce the minimum road frontage requirement from 150 feet to 110 feet. For lots 6 and 7, 2 requested variations with 2 requested variations within the I2 Heavy Industrial District. First one, to reduce the required minimum rear yard setback from 100 feet to 18 6/10 feet. And 2, to reduce the required 2-way parking aisle width along the northwest corner of the proposed parking area on lot 7 from 24 feet to 23 8/10 feet. That sounds all very complicated, but it is what it is. It's not that difficult. The applicants are Brange Enterprises, is that correct? Brange?
yes.
Okay. LLC. The subject property is located on the west side of North Illinois Route 23, approximately 1,250 feet south of the intersection of River Road in Marengo Township. We'll start by introducing ourselves, the board members. We're all from different townships. And we'll start with Mr. Cozen on my left.
Thank you. Robert Cozen, Algonquin Township.
Mary Donner, Greenwood Township.
Charlie Eldridge, Richmond Township.
Vicki Gartner, Nanda Township.
Dwayne Dahlman, Seneca Township.
Kurt Schnabel, Riley Township.
Bill Kernick, Grafton Township.
Thank you. So I'm going to assume that you understand the hearing procedures. If not, I can explain it for you so that it's more clear.
We've done this a few times, yeah.
I figured, okay. So we'll just go right ahead. I'll go ahead and read the legals and swear everybody in, and then we'll get going on your petition. The publisher's certificate of publication from a newspaper is dated June 20th, 2026, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. The affidavit of posting was signed and date posted was June 22nd, 2026, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. The affidavit of mailing was signed and date mailed was June 27th, 2026, and thereby meets ordinance requirements. The survey has been checked against the petition, the legal notice, and the publication in the newspaper, and all 3 match. The filing fees have been paid. The endangered species consultation was not required for this petition, and the McHenry County Soil and Water Conservation District report has been received, which is NRI number L26-043-4826. Okay. You will be sworn in today because we do that. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, so we need that. And so please raise your right hands. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in my testimony today. Thank you. Okay, now we do have the petition in our packet, but will you waive the reading of it? As you can tell, I'm losing my voice.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So please introduce yourselves, how you're connected to this, and begin to tell us what you want to do and why you want to do it.
Sure, my name is Neil Curtis. I'm an architect. We work for AKL Architectural Services. Myself and David Dodd right here works with our company as well. We've been hired by Carl Branchi, who we've worked with on several other projects, to try to get this building up to speed and running for what he wants to use it for. Like I said, we've been doing this for about 35 years, so we've gone through the process a few times, not specifically with this location, but other locations.
Okay. And
I'm
again,
David Doe with AKL Architectural Services.
David, and your name again?
I'm Carl Branchi with Branchi Enterprises,
Okay. And Branchi is actually the
owner.
owner of the
Yes.
building?
Yes.
So you'll be using it?
Yes,
Okay. And as it stands right now, you have a building that's kind of not conforming to the regulations, which is why you need so many variations, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So rather than tearing it all down and moving it, it's easier to get the variations.
Exactly that.
Okay. All right, fine. I think I'll save my questions. We'll start with questions on my right with Mr. Kernick.
Are we going to hear from them first, what their plans are?
Didn't you just give us that?
That's enough?
I
Okay.
we can go through some more details if you like.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna start. You can jump.
Otherwise, the questions will take forever.
Just to let you know, I'm the company president. David has been working specifically on this project. He and I have been working on it, but he knows more than I do. But I can give you a big picture, and then David can fill you on details if you need that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to stand up and walk over here if you don't mind.
Sure.
So the lot is divided into 4 sections. This is 5, this is 6 and 7, and then 8's on the top. The building is located on 6 and 7 in the center. The center 2 lots are I2, and the top and bottom are B1 or B2?
Right, B1.
B1. So the problem that we're having right now is that we want to do a couple different things. We want to fill out that corner just to make that corner more usable. And we also want to put a garbage container on site. Now, the fact that this is B1 and B1 on those, it requires a 100-foot setback into this lot to be able to do anything on that because of its B1 versus I2. So we want to create this to be I2 and that to be I2 so that we can do that addition and also have a location for our garbage containment facility. At the same time, because this building was built a long time ago, there wasn't enough room between it and the back lot line. So that, again, would have to have a large, I think it's a 100-foot setback as well, which you can't have, obviously, the building's there. So we need a variance for that. One of the things we need to do in creating this building is to create enough parking spaces in front. While the distance between the building and the lot line is such that we're 3 inches short of creating another row of parking on the outside edge that would give us enough parking spaces. So we're asking for 3 inches in that center aisle to be able to get those 7 spaces that we need to fill out the parking requirements. All the other things are just kind of related to creating I2 on those 2 spots, which are going to allow us to do what we want to do with the main building. So that's the big picture. David can fill you in with the smaller, the more detailed answers.
Okay, David, did you want to add anything?
I can pull up the site plan too, if that would be helpful
You did
for
help?
visual.
Sure. And we're also removing portions, so the existing building you can see on the left, the existing site, there's structures that have been added to the main building that's actually closer to that rear lot line. We're removing that, getting it back to the main building, essentially helping our,
Parts in orange are what you're removing?
right, those are kind of add-on structures to what the existing building was.
Almost leading to this.
Some of it's, I think the one on the south, that is more or less an open structure, I believe. The one on the west is existing wood framing that's essentially been applied or extended on the interior. There's also a second floor over the northern portion of the building, which we are removing that second floor as well. The goal is to create 5 leasable off-storage tenant spaces that would have, essentially an office space, like a warehouse storage space, and a restroom. Each space would have its own overhead door access, its own, entry door access, be treated as individual,
Will the overhead doors be at grade or will
at grade.
they're not truck
We're
level?
not showing docks.
Okay.
We're showing at grade doors. I don't know where I was going with that.
Do we have a front view?
Yeah, there is, if you go to the exteriors, I don't know if you were able to put
I
those in.
did not fix yours. I pulled these up for them.
So, yeah, what we're basically doing is taking this building, which was added on several times, and trying to make it look like one cohesive building
Right.
with a nice overall identity and individual locations of entry for each one of the units.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the packet, but this is it. Would you be interested in seeing, in passing the elevations around?
Oh,
Or the proposed?
Start down here. Details are reference.
The other issue that we've been running up against is the impervious surface on this property. It currently, I believe, exceeds the maximum allowable for this property. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right. So as part of our trying to bring this thing into conformance, we're getting the parking to work, and we're actually able to reduce the impervious surface by about 1%.
oh, okay.
So we're essentially trying to do our best we can to make everything as compliant.
This one's-
Have the two B1 parcels been in common ownership with the industrial for a long time? Or was that something done by Mr.
No,
Barner?
it's always been together.
It's always been together.
This was an operating business with parking spaces. Everything that we're doing is existing already. All the parking spaces were there, it's just not in compliance. Is that my understanding, Neil?
Yeah.
That's how it looks to me. It looked like when you go back on the aerial over time, it looks like the corner building, if you go back to where you just were.
Okay.
So the building, if I'm looking at the site plan on the right, the southeast, where it says existing building to remain, that building was, I believe, was put in first. And then the remaining building was added, the parking was added, and then those lean-to structures that we're removing were put on after that. It's how it looked based on, the historic aerial photos.
Were all of the additions put on by a previous owner?
Yes.
Yes,
And were they put on with permits, or do you not know?
I do not know.
Roughly, how old is the oldest part of the building?
1970?
I think the original building I put in here, I wrote that in when I found the original building. I'm thinking it was in the 60s.
If I read it correctly, it was before 1967.
Okay, that's,
Okay.
That, I read all this twice this morning, so.
I think based on that, I'm just looking at the aerial photos that I think were through your website, through your GIS mapping.
So it looks like originally it was set up for some sort of production. There was shops set up and,
It was Top Tool,
okay,
which are still in business. They're in Beloit now.
okay.
So they outgrew the building. They kept adding on to it at some point, and they outgrew it. Now they're in Beloit.
Okay.
And it's been sitting for quite a while.
How long?
Well, they were using it more or less for a warehouse, but they weren't working out of there anymore, probably for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's been.
So, I mean, it's been an eyesore for a long time.
You didn't maintain it during the
No.
time?
The grass, the weeds.
There's some areas on the roof you don't want to stand on.
I wouldn't want to stand on any part of any of them, so that's neither here nor there.
I already had a crew out there for 2 weeks just cleaning up the weeds and the garbage. So that's done. At least it looks presentable now.
Yeah,
The
okay.
best I can do.
So, Bill, do you have any questions?
I do. Mr. Bronju, when did you acquire ownership of the premises?
About a year ago, August,
And you bought it for what reason?
to do what we're doing, to make.
For investment, for
Yeah,
investment.
investments and 1 unit for myself, for my stuff.
What's the nature of your business when you say 1 unit for yourself?
I do construction.
Okay. This use is for off-site service businesses? Is that the nature of your use of the property?
Well, I'm just gonna use it for storage,
Okay,
and then whatever other businesses come in there.
so you're gonna be using it for purposes other than what you're asking as a permitted use, which is for off-site service businesses. That's a permitted use under I-2.
That's for contractors' use, doesn't that meet the
Well,
contractor's use?
He's telling me it's just for storage in a warehouse. That's why I asked the question.
Well, I'm gonna use, for me personally,
Yes.
I'm gonna run my business out of it.
Okay, and your business is what's the nature?
I do construction,
Okay, what type of construction?
build buildings.
Okay. I don't know who can answer this question. To me, the variances are really a tag-along. I don't have any problem with the variances. But my issue and my question is, why are you asking for I-2 as opposed to some less intense use like I-1 or like B3?
David can answer that the best.
My understanding was that the I-2 was to meet the off-site business use.
Okay, well, I-1, off-site businesses are permitted uses under I-1. They're also permitted uses under B3. There are conditional uses under B1 and B2. You have 2 of the lots there are already B1. Why not take the I-2 and ask for a map amendment to create or convert the I-2 to B3 or B1?
I believe that the existing is listed as I-2. Our thought was to convert the outers as, I mean, I know there was another option, I believe, but I thought it was to stick with the I-2. We have I-2 already in the 2 middle lots. I think the I-2 to the south, I think there's an I-2 in the south lot adjacent, and that way it's consistent, through.
Well, it's just as easy to ask us for a map amendment for the I-2 to B1, isn't it? And that would.
B1, I think, requires special use to do the.
It's a conditional use permit under B1, but why not ask for everything under B3? The reason I ask that, it seems to me that the use, at least I-2, is inconsistent with current zoning and in fact the use, and probably B3 would be more consistent with everything going on to the north.
Again, I think the way we looked at it was to try to simplify things, to try to say that we have existing I-2 in the 2 center lots. Let's keep it all consistent so there are no potential setback requirements between any zoning and I-2, the ones that are going to stay that. So we felt that one contiguous zoning portion would be better than different ones that could potentially have other setbacks that require.
I'm just suggesting that why not come in here and ask for everything to be B3 as an example, or B1 and ask for a conditional use permit, or I-1, which is it'll be a permitted use under I-1, and it'll be a permitted use under B3.
Would that be preferred?
I mean, it's in my mind, it's a less intense use. And a B3 would be more consistent with what's going on now, at least on the property to the north. I don't know how this ended up being I-2. It seems to me that I-2 is inconsistent with everything going on there. And that's why I ask about the variances. I mean, why can't you come in here and ask for B3 for everything? Or ask for B1 for everything? Or B2 for everything? I mean, the issues are the same. Are they
We
not?
did have this discussion with the village to try to figure out which would be the best route to take forward. We collectively came up with this idea that since these 2 are I-2, we change these other 2 to I-2, that would be probably the most simple way to go forward to create the issues or solve the issues that we had.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Schnabel?
I know a lot of construction businesses that have off-site storage, and sometimes they'll have a unit like this and have a little office space in the back. Did you indicate that all the build-out units will have a small, sort of restroom?
Yeah.
And provision if they want an office space, they could make one inside? Right.
Yeah.
Do you foresee a business that would be open to the public here, like auto service or some similar activity?
I don't know where we're gonna go with that right now. You know, what kind of businesses are gonna come in there.
You're not gonna, your plan is not to restrict, if someone wants the unit to be used for business, that will be more or less good enough as far as you're concerned?
Yes.
Okay. That's really all that I was curious about. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm looking at the map here and I know where the building is. I've driven past it many times.
Millions.
That's the only industrial site within several miles. I'm gonna refer back to my colleague. Why not drop the industrial and go with something B2 or B3?
I don't disagree with you, but the original meeting we went to, they steered us to this. This wasn't our idea. Remember, David?
Right, I understood that there was a couple different options that, you know, as when talking with staff.
Okay.
One was was a map amendment on the north and south lots. And I think the other was gonna involve additional variations. Essentially trying to maintain the current zoning.
Okay.
And so to us, it seemed like this to simplify it. And again, I believe the lot to the south is listed as I-2, is it not? Current zoning?
Yes.
So our thought was that we were doing
I pulled up the zoning map.
directed and what people wanted.
Well, what I've got in front of me says it's commercials.
Well, here, this one here.
No, the zoning map says it's
This is
I-2.
to the
Okay.
south.
We've got it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
There's what's it across the street? Is that an I across the street?
No, that's institutional across the street.
What's an I-1?
That's an I-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an I-1 there too.
Yeah.
But there's also the township government is across the street.
Yes, sir.
So we thought we were staying consistent with that corridor, with the zoning of that corridor.
Okay, okay, that's all I've got.
Thank you. Charlie?
I don't really have a lot. I would comment that most of the industrial zoning in the county is kind of funky and strange, and a lot of it doesn't fit in, but this really is consistent with the corridor there, which is multiple varieties of commercial and industrial zoning in that strip. Did you have any discussions at all with the city of Marengo about annexing?
I have not.
Okay. And do you have any, Mr. Runge, any prospective tenants for the property yet?
Not right now.
Have you converted a building similar to this in the past yourself? And if so, where?
No, not rezoned. No.
Okay, but taken an industrial building, a former manufacturing building, and converted it into multiple units the way you are here?
No.
Okay. All right, I think that's all I've got.
And thank you. Ms. Tyler?
Good afternoon. My question to you is, who are they? When you said, when we started this, they said, they told us. Who were they?
Are you referring?
When you
first
started having your conversations.
staff.
First meeting.
And what, was it our staff? Was it, because I've heard you refer to village,
Sorry.
which would be Marengo, so
It may
it's a
be- I
little
may have used
confusing,
those
so.
terms, but it's always been with the counties.
With the counties.
Yes. We had an initial meeting with them, and we left that meeting with that. That was our impression.
Okay. Then I'm fine. No more questions.
Thank you. Mr. Cozen?
He's ruminating.
I see it.
I'm sorry. Just to clarify again, Mr. Monty, you just acquired this property within the year. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that therefore, to be clear, the zoning of the property existed before your purchase?
Correct.
And the condition of the property existed before your purchase?
Correct.
Did you seek any professional services to advise you on the path going forward that put you into this position today?
No.
How did you find this building in McHenry County? How did you locate this prospective building?
I have friends in the area, and I drove past the building many times.
The weeds and the condition of it that brought you, I didn't mean to put
Yeah.
words in your mouth, but its appearance.
I just thought it was a building that could be brought back to life.
The, in terms of just code requirements, it is the opinion of the architects that there is no operational conditions that impede the occupancy of these kinds of uses in terms of exit, storage, fire.
There definitely are a lot of things. We're redoing the building. We're breaking it up into many different locations, adding doors, adding windows, adding facilities. So we're doing a lot to it to bring it up to the requirements.
So the building will be in its final form, a safer building?
Absolutely.
It's not safe now.
Well, that's an issue, but just for us in terms of path going forward and the balance of the uses. That's about as much remuneration I can do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I, one more question?
Sure.
Two more. Mr. Brangi, what is the name of your construction company?
Brangi Enterprises,
And where do you currently office at?
Marengo,
Where in Marengo?
the building now. That's my corporate address right now.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Melody, do you have any questions?
Yes, I just wanted to confirm that the approval standards for the map amendment and the variations were incorporated in the testimony?
I believe so. As far as
Like,
why they want them?
yeah, just to see if they were going to incorporate them on the record.
Yeah, I don't think it.
We didn't mention that.
The variations?
Like
Yeah.
the approval standards for the.
Yes.
for the map
All right, I'm
amendment.
just gonna get to the standards now.
Okay.
So that might be where you're going, right? Or no?
Sure.
Okay.
We're so used to.
So you've explained why you need the variations. It's existing conditions that are non-conforming that you're trying to get into conformation. Okay. Now you handed in answers to our standards for both the variations and the change in zoning. Is there anything that you want to add or change on those answers?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, then, is it okay with you then if we incorporate your written answers into our record for this hearing,
Absolutely.
rather than going through each and every one? Okay. Good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and did you have any other questions?
No, staff does not have any other questions.
Okay. All right, there's no public here to ask questions, so we'll move on to the staff report.
For the record, my name is Melody Jacobson. I'm a planner with the county. The current zoning of the subject property is B1 Neighborhood Business District and I2 Heavy Industrial District. To the north, we have adjacent zoning that is B1 Neighborhood Business District. To the south, I2 Heavy Industrial District. To the east, I1 Light Industrial District. And to the west, A1 Agriculture District. The current land use of The subject property is industrial and vacant. Adjacent land uses to the north, east, and west are designated for agriculture, and to the south for commercial. So the future land use map of the 2050 comprehensive plan does designate the area for open space. I just wanted to note on the record, when staff initially met with the applicant, we were basing it off of the 2030 comprehensive plan, which did designate this area as developing with industrial, so that's where the confusion is. And I just wanted to note also that the subject property is located in a sensitive aquifer recharge area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for Melody?
Yeah, I'd like to just verify that the suggestion that the two B1 parcels be converted to I2 was in fact a proposal from staff and not the idea of the
So
originally.
I will say I personally wasn't in the meeting, but for staff's recommendation, like I mentioned, we were going off of the 2030 comprehensive plan, the Beyond plan at that time when we met with the applicant.
Which showed the area to be industrial.
Industrial designation for the future land use map. And then obviously there was the conversation of, uniformity across all lots. And the current lot that was the main focus was, designated for I2 heavy industrial
So
district.
would it be fair to say that that staff did recommend uniformity across the lots and that the land use map that you were operating on suggested that it be industrial?
So I wouldn't say that we provided any recommendations. That was, I guess, the request that came in, and we were just providing the best, way of how
Okay,
to
thank you.
move forward with that.
Anyone else?
So it's my understanding that the staff was concerned about uniformity of the zoning across these 4 properties. Is that?
I wouldn't say not necessarily. We were just going along with what the text and recommendations of the 2030 plan at that time that was in place for.
Yeah,
For
no, I thought you mentioned something about, at least to Mr. Elridge's question, something about we were concerned about uniformity of
Well,
zoning.
that was the request of the applicant.
Did you tell them we recommend that all the lots be zoned I2?
No, staff did not make that recommendation.
I have nothing further.
Okay. All right. Do you have a closing statement?
Thank you. Yeah, should we mention, Jim?
Oh, you have one more question?
Sorry, yes. Did we hear from Marengo or any other governmental unit?
No, there were no objections.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So no closing statement? In that case, I'll close the hearing portion of the meeting and then move on to the voting portion of the meeting. We do have 7 board members present, so what we recommend today will go to the county board next month, I believe, right? Next month. Yeah. Unless, of course, you want to continue for any reason.
Well, I have a question. If you're voting today, if, let's say, it doesn't come to the outcome we're looking for, can we then continue it, or is that definitely come to the board at that
Once
point?
we vote, we vote.
Okay, is there a way to poll the board before we vote, so we could see whether we want to continue or not?
No,
Okay.
but this is only a recommendation, understand?
Sure.
This is not, now you have to do this, We just recommend to the county board, and then if the outcome is not what you're looking for, then you can plead your case to the county board ahead of the meeting so that they understand. Normally, our hearings are usually on a consent agenda item, and you can have it pulled for a separate vote, so. Okay, so moving on. Again, I will read the purpose of this vote. This is application Z26-0027, and the request is long. Lots 5 and 8, reclassification from B1 neighborhood business to the I2 heavy industrial district with 2 requested variations. First, to reduce the minimum lot area requirement from 1 acre to 538 thousandths of an acre, a little more than a half of an acre on lot 5, and 54 hundredths, again a little more than a half acre on lot 8. And second, to reduce the minimum road frontage requirement from 150 feet to 110 feet. On lots 6 and 7, 2 requested variations within the I2 heavy industrial district. 1, to reduce the required minimum rear yard setback from 100 feet to 18 6/10 feet. And 2, to reduce the required 2-way parking aisle width along the northeast corner of the proposed parking area on lot 7 from 24 feet to 23 feet and 8/10. Here's your 3 inches, 23.8 feet. And the applicant is Bronji Enterprises, LLC. Okay. I will take a motion to approve the
Madam
request.
Chairman, I move approval of the petition and the variances.
Second.
Okay. I'm assuming we're doing everything all together. Yes, we're not splitting this up.
That's my motion.
Okay, perfect. Okay, any comments, Mr. Aldrich?
Yeah, this is a series of parcels just north of the municipality of Marengo along the west side of Route 23. It is an area that was zoned many years ago, but for really all of the time, at least since the middle 1960s forward, that it has had that zoning, it has really been used as an industrial parcel, the whole area. It was owned by a manufacturing company who perhaps only had the building on a couple of the parcels, but they were using the entire parcel for industrial purposes. And there's never been any official objection to that in 60 years. The zoning in this area is a little funky. The land use in this area is a little funky, but all of that is for reasons lost in the mists of time as far as I'm concerned. It's been pretty much this way forever. While I take notice of my colleagues' view that they could have called for the use they intend for a somewhat less intensive zoning, I don't think that, frankly, that's part of my duty. My duty is to look at the existing petition and if it is reasonable, vote in favor of it. I don't think it is my expertise to say you should have done something that I might think is better. And in fact, none of the proposed uses, or at this point, I think a reasonable use at this moment would go to what our now new existing comprehensive plan calls for, which is open space. This is not open space. There is no open space in the vicinity in this corridor. It is all commercial or institutional use until you get to the municipality. And frankly, I think that well before 2050, when our current comprehensive plan expires, that this will have been incorporated within the city of Marengo in some fashion. And I think probably most of these buildings will have gone beyond, not just on this site, but on adjacent sites, will have gone so far beyond their economic use that they will have been replaced by some other usage. I believe that all the standards for both map amendment and variances have been met. And I am going to vote in favor of this petition.
Thank you. Mr. Koenig.
In response to Mr. Eldridge's comments about we shouldn't take into consideration the alternate ways you could have achieved the results that you're asking for, I suggest that that issue is clearly addressed in paragraph D, which addresses the hardship imposed upon the applicant if the proposed zoning is denied. If the proposed zoning is denied, you can come back and submit a petition to have everything rezoned B3, I1, or come in for B1 or B2 and have a conditional use request. So in my mind, if your request for a zoning change is denied, there is no hardship on you in coming forth and coming with a different application for different zoning. In my mind, map amendments are very significant. We have to take into consideration what I-2 allows you to do. I-2 allows you to do not simply off-site premises or off-site, off-site service businesses, but when you amend a map, then I-2 has a lot of other permitted uses that this property could be subject to without coming before us. So I think map amendments are very significant. In my mind, there's no need, from my perspective, there's no need for me to address the variances, because I think your request for variances falls if we deny your request for the map amendment. So for those reasons, I think at least two issues, two paragraphs in section 16.20.010E operate here. Now, I recognize no one standard is controlling. I recognize that under the statute, we balance all of the factors. But if you look at, ignoring the comprehensive plan, if you look at the proposed, or at the current zoning and the current land uses, this property being zoned as I-2 will stick out like a sore thumb, in my estimation. So I think that paragraph A, which talks about the compatibility of the proposed zoning with existing uses and zoning of nearby property, I think that's a factor that speaks against this request, as does paragraph D, because I see no hardship to you to come back with a request for variance under I-1, under B3, or conditional use under B1 or B2. As far as any issue of being misled by staff, I don't think that operates here. Equally important, at least as I understand the law, being misled by staff is not being misled by the county. And that's really the issue here. So you were not misled by the county in this particular case. So those are my reasons for my voting against the request of the motion.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Schnabel.
Oh, gee, thanks a lot.
You're next in line here.
Excuse me, if I could just say one more thing.
No.
I'm not against the project because I think it's appropriate. I'm just against the way you're approaching it.
Okay. putting me on the spot is fine. I agree with some of what Mr. Kernick says. I agree with much of what Mr. Eldridge says. My personal opinion is the zoning has been a mishmash for decades, a mishmash. The applicant's coming in with a plan that he's run through the county, evaluated against the 2030 plan. I understand the concerns about the I-2 zoning. However, there are many constraints that the applicants had to look at and deal with as well as necessary for the request for all the variations. At this point in time, I don't see where it would be particularly harmful to grant the request, and I'm leaning towards approving my vote for the petition.
Thank you. Mr. Dolan?
A lot of comments up here. Mr. Schnabel's comment about zoning in that area being a mishmash is totally correct. I do have a problem with going with I-2 for this particular set of parcels. I know 2 parcels are I-2, 2 are not. I love that you're going to repurpose an old building up there that's been vacant for many years. I like that you're going to bring businesses into that area. There is a need for that. But I will not be supporting this because I do not think I-2 is appropriate for the entire site. That is my opinion. Thank you.
Mary?
I think it's perfectly appropriate for all 4 parcels. It's already A2 in the middle. You're improving a piece of property that's been improved without apparently proper permitting. You're going through the permitting process for somebody to put something else to the north and something else to a small lot to the south, and then say, you can't do it because A1, no, maybe we'll do, no, maybe B3, or maybe how much more work do you need to put into it to do the things that you have to do to make the building that is already on A2 something else? That doesn't make any kind of sense to me at all, and I think everything that you're doing is just fine. I think that it has conformed to what everybody is expecting. Mishmash, unmishmash. City of Marengo is not complaining. Nobody has complained up until today. I'm going to vote for it.
Thank you. Mr. Cousin?
Thank you. For the reasons that have been stated to this point, I will not be supporting this map amendment. I too recognize, no pun intended, that the process for zoning map amendment is significant. It is not something that is parcel unique, but applies throughout the ordinance. The I-2 is the most intense land use that the county has to place on a parcel. There is no subset in the ordinance of the county that defines mishmash or funky. And so when a property owner looks up and down Route 22, they do not see sufficient guidelines as to the delineation of the path of development for the next 25 years or the timeline of the 2050 plan, but we'll see an I-2. There is no dispute that the 1958 plan set in motion this mishmash, this funky nature. And it is disappointing that there is not more guidelines or guidance given from either the governmental units in the area or the investors in the area to have this property fall into this place. In fact, Mr. Bonji should be applauded for recognizing the potential that he brings to this parcel. But there is a process, and that process is not a hardship in of itself to maintain zoning that would protect Mr. Bonji's investments further up and down State Route 23. And that is the process that we are expected under oath to adhere to. And for all that, I will not be supporting this amendment.
Thank you. I'm going to support this proposal because I am grateful that somebody is coming around and actually trying to conform what has been non-conforming for quite some time, trying to make something of an abandoned building and have it a running business. I'm very much in favor of that. As far as the I-2 zoning, I feel that this is not in any way encroaching a piece of I-2 zoning on, vast agricultural land, let's say. There's other I-2s there, there's I-1s there. Going up and down that road, looking at what's there, you can't say, oh, that's a B1, that's a B3, that's an I1. You can't. It looks on paper much more stark than it does in reality. I feel that the business that was there before this proposal was probably more intense than what is being proposed today. And that seemed to have no repercussions on anybody along that route or next door, across the road, whatever. So I am going to vote in favor of it. So I will take the roll.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, if I can make a couple of additional comments.
Okay.
Just like to point out to the remaining members, the members of the board, that permitted uses under I-2 include asphalt concrete batch facility, include sawmill, include recycling collection centers, include recycling processing centers. Those are permitted uses under the I-2 ordinance. And those are uses to which this property can be put at any point in time without coming before the board. And that's essentially what I believe was alluded to by my colleague when he mentioned about not project specific, I think were his words. So with that, I'll now shut up.
Are we ready? Okay, Mr. Eldridge,
Yes.
Mr. Cozen,
No.
Mr. Schnabel,
Yes.
Ms. Donner,
Aye.
Mr. Schnabel, did you say aye or yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Ms. Donner, you said yes. Mr. Dahlman,
No.
Mr. Kernan,
No.
and I will vote yes. So we have a split vote, 4 in favor and 3 against the recommendation to the county board. So it won't go in the consent agenda, I don't believe.
It goes with no recommendation.
Yeah, it goes with no recommendation. So you can, they can, it's still going to the county board, though. They still have to vote on it.
Yes, that would be,
What is the vote required to get a positive?
5 in favor. We're short one.
that'll be Tuesday, August 18th.
Okay. So about 5 weeks from now. Okay,
Is
well,
that the same time? Or what's the planning board meeting?
This is the 7th. Right?
7:30.
And the committee of the whole looks at it the Thursday before.
The committee of the whole meets the Thursday before the board meeting, and they will discuss it at that time.
But that's not with our presentation, we presented at the meeting, correct?
Yeah, but you may want to attend the committee of the whole and make a comment. It's entirely up to you, but many people also contact board members that they know or who are interested in zoning to discuss the issue.
Okay, well, good luck with however you approach this, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.